Hi everyone, Steve here from My Crypto World. Today in our video we're going to talk about the market that was last week. We're going to have a look at why the market has taken a dip for the short term. We're also going to talk about the good news, and finally we're going to finish up and I'm going to explain to you how I get my NFTs for free. Coming right up. Okay, as we always do, we're going to start off with the heat map of the coin market cap at the moment. As you can see, pretty much red across the board. It seems like every time I do a post that on that particular day, the market is down. Overall, during the week, the market has been a little bit up, so it's not all grim and bare. But at the moment, there is certainly more red than there is green on the screen in front of you. Let's go and have a look at some crypto pricing and just have a look and see where things are at. So Bitcoin, which is the big one obviously that has moved the market this week, we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. Pretty much red across the board, except for the main ones that have come up this week have been the ones that we recommended about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So Polygon Matic is down a little bit, but overall it's up. The large ones are going to be Decentraland, which is Mana, and we suggested that people get into that in our portfolio about 4 weeks ago now. That's up 514%. We've also got, what was the other ones we've recommended here? Theta is looking good as well. That's a long-term buy for this crypto group. The Sandbox, that's up 831%. So pretty much anything to do with the metaverse or gaming is up while the rest of the market is down. And that's where things are looking at the moment. If we go and have a look at the total market, as we always do, to try and get an understanding of where we are at in the cycle of things, at the moment we are in a kind of a sideways movement. It's a little bit bearish, but pretty much it hasn't done a lot since the cycle ended about this time last week. Now, it is very possible that we have an extended cycle here, which means the low here that happened yesterday is the end of the cycle and not what I thought was the end of the cycle, which is here. That's more than possible. We'll find that out as this cycle unfolds. You can see through history that sometimes the cycles go for 34 days, sometimes they go for 29, sometimes they go for 26. There is a lot of, I guess, an expansion and contraction that happens within cycles. They're not always exactly on 31 days, but we'll see what happens as this cycle unfolds to know whether it actually went for 36 days or it did actually finish where I thought it would have at 29 days. But that's hindsight's always wonderful in those things. As I said to you in the last video, we're really wanting to make sure that there are 3 parts to the cycle: 10 days followed by the 20-day and then the 30-day where the cycle ends. We want to make sure that for this cycle we want to see some bullish movements between the first day of the cycle and day 20, where after day 20 it's okay if the cycle drops away a little bit and comes down to breathe before it heads back up. Now, if this is a small bearish cycle within the overall upward cycle, what it does mean is that it will fall back to, if it doesn't just simply carry sideways along this resistance level here, it may drop down to its next best resistance level, which is this purple line here at 1.86 trillion. We will see what happens. If it does do that, again, you've got 2 choices. You can stay in the market and not panic and look at a long-term strategy, which is my personal preference. I do know there are members in my trading group, private traders group, that trade. So they'll be looking to either do short positions on this or to get out of the market completely, wait till that sort of bounces back and then try and pick the lowest point of that cycle to buy back in. For those that are holding on throughout this period, if it does tend to go bearish and down a little bit, it's a perfect opportunity to dollar cost average and buy some more stock while the prices are cheaper. Anyway, just my point of view. And as with everything in this channel, everything that I discuss and everything that I recommend, it is not financial advice. It is only my investment opinion, and it's exactly what I'm doing in my portfolio. So all I'm doing is sharing with you what I would do in the market. You don't necessarily have to take my advice for this. So let's have a look at the market and why we had such a dip yesterday, being the main day. I'll just move that down a little bit so we can see the bars. So yesterday, quite a bit of a drop. We went from, where do we go here? From a high of around about, 2.68 trillion down to below 2.4 trillion. So quite a bit of a dip. Let's have a look at this. And this is probably the main reason why it dropped. So if you go to this news article here, Bitcoin risks crashing below 50,000 as $3 billion worth of Bitcoin options expire on Black Friday, which was yesterday. I won't paraphrase or walk through the whole article with you, but essentially, if we read here, the bears needed to lower the price below $57,000 in this dump, or they would have lost a significant amount of money, which they did, despite the bulls battling the price to a meaningful $59,000 on Thursday night to save from hefty losses towards the expiry date of the contracts. The price went to as low as $57,500 by Friday morning, and further down since then. So really what's happening here is you've got people who are trying to short the market, and you want to, we don't want to see the market drop, obviously, but there are people who hedge or bet against the market movements, and those contracts would have expired. And at $3 billion, that's a lot of money to wipe out. So for those people whose contracts did expire, then that's a shame. They've lost their money on that. But from the majority of the people buying and selling crypto, ultimately most of us want the market to continue to rise because that's where we get our income from. There's only one or two people I think on this channel, in my private group, that are doing some short trading, which is fine if that's your strategy. I've short traded before. It's not really for me, but I do understand why the market may have taken a downside approach. In saying that, though, there is a lot of positive news out in the market, and we'll touch base on those right now. First of all, Australia. Geez, I'll tell you what, we are leading the way with some of our thoughts regarding cryptocurrencies and using them as a legal asset. So this week on November the 24th, which is 3 days ago, Australia's Rest Super Retirement Fund to invest in crypto for its 1.8 million members. So this is a really, really good article. For those that want to read it and are based in Australia, just go to cointelegraph.com. You'll find the article on there. So Rest Super is one of Australia's largest superannuation funds and retirement funds for that matter. The fund's got more than, it's probably close to $50 billion worth of assets under management. So it's quite a large fund. So it's quoted here by the CEO that it's still a very volatile investment, so any allocation exposure we make to the cryptocurrencies is likely to be part of a diversified portfolio, as initially a fairly small allocation that may occur over time. So essentially what they're saying is they're not going to throw all their eggs in one basket, but they are going to look at diversifying a portion of their funds to go into the crypto market. Now, I've previously, in a previous life, was a financial planner and obviously had access to quite a bit of managed funds. So from a risk point of view, what they'll probably look at doing is probably adding anywhere between 1% to 5% of their total investment portfolio, I'd imagine, into cryptocurrency, just to make sure that the risk profile suits the members who are, or the employees who are actually managing the fund, that they are able to cope with that type of risk. There'll be a huge risk strategy platform in place for funds like Rest Super, that they'll allocate a small portion of that to their overall investment portfolio. But it's a good thing because it just means more and more Australians are going to become exposed to cryptocurrencies, either indirectly or directly. Now, what this does do is it creates a little bit of competition within the super fund environment in Australia. So we've got so many big super funds in Australia here. All of them do fairly well. But I can guarantee you that if Rest Super is saying to its members they're going to start investing in crypto, that will put pressure on other investment platforms and other super funds to also do the same thing. So again, it's just slowly becoming more and more accessible to Australians to have some type of asset class under cryptocurrency. So that's very positive news. Also in the news, Palau partners with Ripple on climate-friendly national digital currency. Again, this is the information you can find on Cointelegraph. But essentially, it says Ripple would provide Palau with technical, business design and policy support, meanwhile exploring a USD-backed stablecoin and associated use cases such as a corporate registry on the XRP ledger could provide a viable alternative to central bank digital currencies for countries like Palau. Now, I've got to admit, I had no idea where Palau is. I've actually probably only heard of it. I knew of it, but I didn't know where it was. So essentially what Ripple are doing is to try and partner with that country to get them do all their banking for them. Here's Palau. So here's Australia. This is where we are in Melbourne, and Palau's up here. And if we just zoom in there, you can see it's just a tiny, tiny island north of Papua New Guinea. So that's really interesting. But, even though it's a small island, at least it's a start. You've got to start somewhere, and why not with the smallest? That will give XRP a chance to understand their platform, to iron out all the bugs. You might as well start with something small when you're tackling a huge project anyway, and try and get everything right. So then when you do roll it out to other countries that might be bigger or more diversified, you've already got a strong platform for that to leap onto. So I think it's a really smart move by Ripple executives to start looking at doing that. Also in the news earlier this week, Solana and Cardano are paving a new way for NFT growth. Now, I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago on one of my videos. Now, I can't remember what I was going to talk to you about this for and why I had it up here. There was something I wanted to mention. What was that? You know what? It doesn't matter. Have a look at the article yourself again on Cointelegraph, but it was quite a good article exposing Solana and Cardano, again, to new buyers in the marketplace. Finally, Sand token. Now, we spoke about this 2 weeks ago and suggested anyone who was interested in getting into the metaverse coins, Sand would be a very good and strong option for you to consider. Again, not financial advice, just financial opinion. And since then, Sand has rallied 260% in November ahead of the play to earn metaverse launch, which is going to happen sometime soon. So that's really good. So for those that don't know, Sand is the token for the Sandbox. If you want to go and have a look at the Sandbox, just type that in, thesandbox.com, and you'll be able to go and buy land in the Sandbox, similar to, think of it as, for those that are new to this, your children or maybe even yourself used to play Sims, which was a virtual reality game where you got to build your own, they had so many different things. I think you could build your own school, you could build your own city, you could build your own adventure park, and you had to earn money by charging rates and things for the your reality, your virtual reality town to make money and to be sustainable. Same thing happens here, but on a much grander scale, and it is quite incredible if you go in and have a look at how they've designed it and what they're doing there. So very, very different. But it's worth having a look at, especially if you're going to invest in Sand. I always strongly recommend that if you're going to invest in the projects, make sure you do your own research, find out what they're doing. You might not even like the idea, or you might go, a metaverse, it's just absolutely crazy. I struggle to cope with reality as it is, let alone a second reality, which is all fake. That's fine as well. So it just means it's not for you, but it's worth having a look at if you are going to invest in these projects. I also mentioned a few last week. I mentioned Sand, I mentioned IOTA. What else did we mention? We mentioned Mana again, IOTA, and there was another, Wax, I think it was the other one as well that you might want to have a look at. So on to the final part of this information video. So I'm going to talk to you about the Theta drop and how I'm getting my NFTs for free. So first of all, I run a what's known as a Guardian node, and I've spoken about, an Edge node, on the Theta blockchain. What this does is it enables me to hook my computer up to the internet, and Theta have the ability to use my unused bandwidth and use it for streaming services and edge computations, so complicated algorithms that may need to be solved as part of the entire network. Now, what you can do if you want is that you can take your Tfuel and your Theta and you can stake it to the Theta blockchain, which means you start earning quite large rewards for doing that, which is what I've done. So all of those rewards go into your Theta wallet. So you literally take your coin off whatever exchange you're using, and you pretty much promise that to the Theta blockchain. You can take it off at any time. There's no stress with that. You can always pop it back into your wallet if you decided that you've had enough and you want to sell it. but it's pretty risk-free, so you get to do that. I've left my Tfuel in there at the moment, and that's been earning me rewards for the last, well, since the node went live, which was, I think, was June or July this year. So how it works is that money and that Tfuel gets paid out into my Tfuel account, and then a Tfuel wallet, sorry, and then from there I can convert that. I can either do one or two things. I can take it back out and then reapply it to and stake more of it on the Theta network. I can take it back out and put it back into my crypto wallet, where I can convert it to other currencies, including cash, if I want to do that. In this particular case, what I've done is I've taken out a portion of that money and I've included it into my Theta Drop account. So Theta Drop is where my money is now sitting. You can see just on my balance at the moment, I've got 4,923 Tfuel that I've earned. That's a portion of my earnings over the last couple of months, which equates to $1,515.51. What I'm doing then, because that Tfuel's come to me for free, essentially, for pretty much allowing Theta to use my CPU as part of a node network. Well, it's free in the sense that it hasn't cost me anything but electricity to run the computer, 24 hours, 7 days a week, which I have to say in Australia, it's not expensive at all, really. And I certainly don't have the most up-to-date, powerfulest processor in the world, but it still does the job well. So I've transferred that into my wallet, and that now sits there on the Theta Drop network. And in the meantime, what I've done is I've been able to buy the Theta Warrior, which is my first NFT that I bought from Digital Dave there. We'll go back and I'll show you the other ones. How do I do this? Got to remember how to do this. Got to move myself back. Here we go. We've got Theta Zilla, NFT, and we've got Theta, the Theta Symbiosis as well. So these are all digital artworks that you can then hang on to and collect. You can sell them back onto the network if you want to do that as well, or you can go and you can take them out, put them on other wallets, put them on different exchanges to sell. You can really do whatever you like there. So the way it works is you just go into the marketplace. This is a Theta Drop marketplace, excuse me, and you can see here that there are lots of different NFTs available for sale. Again, digital artwork. Excuse me. So some of these go for very, very cheap, and others go for extremely high. So we can go recently listed, and we go from price low to high. I actually would have liked it the other way around, high to low. I don't know why that's not available there. It was once ago. No, it's still not there. So you can see that they're as low as $1.99, and this is from the World Poker Championships. They're NFTs that are now collectibles, and there are a lot more. So we'll just go back to recently listed. I reckon. Yeah, I'm not too sure why the filter's not working there on the based on price. Anyway, you can see here these NFTs here. You've got Kermit the Frog, well, it looks like Kermit the Frog, as John Wayne. That's going for $9,000. We've got Oprah Winfrey Frog. That's going for $12,222. There's a whole host of other NFTs that are available for sale, and you simply would just buy it. So let's just go to we'll go full sale, and we'll have a look and we'll buy one and see what it looks like. So here we go. Theta Astronauts Episode 1. You simply click on that NFT. Give it a second to load. I actually haven't seen this one before, so this will cost me $28. Or you can pay with fiat, so cash out of your bank account, or you can pay with Tfuel. You get a 5% discount if you buy it with Tfuel, so it would cost me 90.1 Tfuel. So Tfuel Astronauts Episode 1. Hadn't heard of it. Anyway, we're going to buy it. So we'll just go select and buy. We're going to buy it for $28. What it'll do is it'll show you an entire list of everyone on the network that's selling the same NFT. So often when they mint NFTs, sometimes they're one-offs, and other times it'll be part of a group. So you might have 100 of that one NFT, and once they're minted, that's all there'll ever be. So there'll only ever be 100 of something. I don't know how many of these ones were made, but looks like quite a few. But we'll just buy that for $28. And we'll pay with Tfuel. Tells you what the balance is of Tfuel. It's going to be 90 Tfuel added my 4,923. We'll just buy that. And now that's been added to my NFT collection. I can go back in at any stage. Sorry, I'm not selling anything. Go back up to Marketplace. There was another one I wanted to buy before too, which was the Chosen One, which is, now you can see here, there were 2,573 editions, and this one should tell you, tells you what the global history is, so how many times this has been bought and sold. Gives you a bit more detail about it. And this is actually Rob from Digital Asset News. He's a great commentator on the market, somebody I listen to quite a bit about what's going on in the cryptoverse. And so Theta, because Rob's quite a strong supporter of Theta, as many of us are, they created his own NFT for him. You can see the Tfuel burning up in the top left-hand corner. You've got the Theta symbol in the right-hand corner. It looks pretty good. So let's buy it. We'll go and select and buy. Again, here's a list of all the editions. So the one I'm buying is 1,094. There are other editions there, 1,422, 1,192, all sold by different people. We're going to go on this one for $26.99 just because it's the cheapest. $86.7 Tfuel. So we'll click on that. We'll buy that. Buy it with Tfuel. And now we own that NFT, which there is only one of. There are multiple of that NFT, but there is only one numbered 1094, which is the one I've got. It's still processing. Anyway, so that's how I get them for free. So I'm earning Tfuel for nothing, for staking my Tfuel onto the Theta network, and then allowing the Theta network to use my unused bandwidth to do all the processing that needs to do, and I get rewarded in Tfuel again. So my balance of Tfuel goes up, which essentially costs me nothing. I then move that Tfuel once a month into my Theta Drop wallet, and then I can buy NFTs on the Theta network and the Theta blockchain that I like and I see fit, and they can just sit there until I either decide to sell them or they go up in value or whatever else might be the case. So that's really how all that works. Now, there are lots of different platforms that you can go to buy NFTs. Probably the biggest one is OpenSea if you're interested in digital art. But Theta is really sort of heading the way with the quality of NFTs that are being dropped. We have coming up very soon, Katy Perry is going to be dropping her own. Now, where is this? I did have it up the other day, but there is a drop expected with Katy Perry in some before the end of this year. These are all the drops that have happened so far. So there's Digital Dave. Sorry, that's not Digital Dave. This is Digital Dave. And this is Rob from his crypto channel there, Digital Asset News. And but Katy Perry will be coming out shortly. I thought there was a preview of her on one of them, but maybe I might be wrong. Yep, there it is there. So there's a World Poker Tour coming. Katy Perry will be dropped one championship. If we click on Katy Perry's NFT drop will take place. I'm pretty sure it was before the end of the year. It might not even say. Q4 2021. So again, it hasn't been actually hasn't been given an exact date yet. That's the end of our channel today, guys. I hope everyone has got something out of this. What I'm going to do next week is we're going to sit down as it's nearing the end of the year, and I'm going to go through the entire portfolio of everything we've recommended over the last 2 years, and just compare it to where the prices were when we recommended it to where they are now. We're going to go through the good ones and the bad ones, the ones that we might have missed out on, or the ones we decided to, pull the pin on and say goodbye somewhere throughout those 2-year periods. So that'll be an interesting video to make. I haven't quite finished doing the calculations, but it's looking pretty good at the moment. So until next week, take care. If you could really support this channel, if you're watching this on Facebook or Theta TV, if you could spare a minute to log on, click like on the YouTube channel, it will really help my channel grow. And if you like the content that I've provided, and you like what I'm talking about, you can also subscribe if you like. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted when my next video becomes available. Peace and take care.